Survivor detected.
What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? Today is Monday. It is a brand new week, and this, of course, is the Valve Index week. So that's pretty much where all the excitement is. Basically, are you getting a Valve Index? Do you have your shipping information? Are you going to be home that day? Are you calling in sick that day? Is some people going to get it on Thursday? Some people are getting it Friday, and then you have the weekend. So you've obviously got a lot of worries about whether or not you're going to get it before the weekend, or somehow it could possibly be delayed into the following week. So a lot of people are thinking about that. Not a lot of news today, but we do have a handful of trailers. We have a number of minor things that are going on out there. Now, the headline of the show, Windows Mixed Reality, discontinued. It's over, folks. Pack your bags, send them back to the manufacturers. Windows Mixed Reality is done. Okay, is that the actual truth? No, but we're going to run with it. No, actually, what happened today is there is some news about Windows Mixed Reality that Road to VR is reporting. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. But yeah, it's relatively light day to day, but we do have some announcements. We do have some trailers, and let's see, what is, let me get my show notes up over in the right spot here. Okay, yeah, so actually the lead story of the day is not a trailer for an upcoming game or a new release on a new platform, but instead we are looking at a major flat game that says, hey, VR is a possibility. So let's go ahead and look at it. CD Projekt Red says VR support for Cyberpunk 2077 isn't terribly difficult. Okay, now, what does that translate to? Well, that's pretty easy. What it translates to is if somebody were to offer us, say, I don't know, $15 million, we would probably translate this into VR and provide exclusive store support. Oculus, are you listening, Oculus? That's pretty much what I'm getting at with this particular story here. And it basically says, yeah, CD Projekt Red is preparing to show Cyberpunk 2077 at their most important E3 yet. That, of course, was a while back. But yeah, they're saying VR support not terribly difficult. The implementation of VR would be incredible for a first-person RPG of Cyberpunk 2077's caliber. Admitted that the inclusion of support is not terribly difficult. We render our graphics in 3D anyway, of course, and the screen itself is flat, but if someone owns a 3D adapter and a pair of VR glasses, they can enjoy rudimentary VR. Is he talking about like Vorp X? Like basically you can play the game in Vorp X and it might be halfway decent? Or are they saying, you know, hey, if somebody wants to throw a whole lot of money our way, we might be able to make a VR version of this and have some VR support. That would be huge. Cyberpunk 2077, probably one of the single most wanted games of any type that is out there. For some people, that is their absolute most wanted game, period. And I've seen some trailers and some footage of it, and I'm watching it and I'm like, man, this was built for VR. Like, this is what VR is all about. And I don't mess around with flat, so I have no interest unless we actually get a VR version for this game. But yeah, supposedly not terribly difficult, so we will look forward to that at some point down the line. Okay, well, tomorrow we do have a brand new game that is coming out on PlayStation VR. A brand new game for PlayStation VR players, but not necessarily a brand new game for VR players. Katan VR, which of course was on the Oculus Rift as an exclusive for a little bit, on Oculus Go. Later, I believe it came to Steam, pretty much on all the platforms out there for the most part, not on Quest yet, but it is coming to PlayStation VR, and PlayStation VR players have not had a chance to try this game out yet. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the launch trailer for Katan VR for PlayStation VR, which does come out tomorrow. All right, well, there it is, Katan VR, and it is coming to PlayStation VR, I believe, tomorrow. And the trailer does make it look good. It makes it look fun. Board games in VR actually work pretty well. They do work pretty well because what you're getting when you're in VR is you're kind of almost getting like an AR experience just without the AR is pretty much what you're doing here. And the board game can be right there. You can zoom in on it. It can zoom, it can expand, it controls all the rules, so you don't got to remember all the rules. It runs everything for you. And it's probably a very enjoyable experience. And looking at the trailer, the way they have everybody there, you see the other people that are playing. I'm wondering, is this very similar to like Poker Stars VR from the standpoint that you're just all there? You can talk, you can have live voice chat. I could imagine there being a lot of people that would be really excited about doing this just for the camaraderie that you get when you're in a shared experience like Poker Stars VR. PlayStation VR doesn't have Poker Stars, right? I don't believe it's on that platform. But you do have people that really got into, like, Werewolves Within was a really big thing on PlayStation VR in the very early days. And Star Trek Bridge Crew was a big thing on PlayStation VR as well. And Katan VR, a very popular game. I've heard a lot of great things actually about the Oculus Go version. The Oculus Go version seems to be very, very solid. So that is Katan VR. It is coming out tomorrow on PlayStation VR. Okay, speaking of PlayStation VR, there is a game that has been available in Japan for quite some time now, Disaster Report 4, which does have a VR mode. It has a first-person VR mode that is kind of like a little side mission that's in VR as a city is dealing with an earthquake. And so this game's been in Japan for a while. We never knew if it was going to come to the USA. Apparently now it is coming to the USA. It hasn't been confirmed yet for Europe, but that's likely as well. Let's go ahead and check out a quick trailer for Disaster Report 4. This would be an interesting experience to have in VR. A straight up catastrophe that's happening that you have to navigate in the first person. Let's go ahead and check this one out. All right, that is Disaster Report for Summer Memories. It is coming early in 2020. NIS America is the one that is bringing it over to the USA. Looking at this trailer, I gotta say, it does look really cool. But when you think about like an earthquake, it seems like in a real earthquake situation, the earthquake usually only lasts like what? 20 something seconds. Like the entire earthquake is like 20 something seconds. Now those 20 seconds feel like 20 minutes, but they're really like 20 seconds. Like earthquakes are not like long drawn out experiences. Now obviously there are aftershocks, but watching this, it seems almost like it's like a major earthquake, then it relaxes, then a major earthquake, then it relaxes. You got buildings on fire. Of course, you could have a situation where you're having flashbacks to different parts of that original earthquake. Like that scene right there with that building on fire and that building collapsing, like that is pretty, I mean, it's not a fun situation to be in, but would be impressive to see that happening in VR. So Disaster Report 4, unfortunately, here's the downside, guys. The downside is only a very small portion of this game is going to actually have VR support. So it's not like this entire game is in VR. It's a very specific segment of the game that is first person, and you are dealing with this earthquake, but it's not the entire game. So we have to understand that as well. But that is Disaster Report. All right, well, you know what? The number one news that is going on today is Windows Mixed Reality. So is the worst case scenario upon us for Windows Mixed Reality? And let's go ahead and take a look at it. Road to VR does have a story on this, so let's go ahead and bounce over to the webinar. And here it is. Most Windows VR headsets have vanished from the Microsoft Store, limited stock elsewhere. Okay, are we grasping at straws? Is this much ado about nothing? Is this just a temporary situation with a particular component that all of these headsets require, which is slow down the entire operation? And this could just be a lull in supply for various Windows Mixed Reality headsets. This could be much ado about nothing. Of course, this could also be mass discontinuing. We did hear not too many, I forget how many months ago that was, or maybe like half a year ago, where a couple of Windows Mixed Reality products, I believe, were discontinued. I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation before, so we might have jumped the gun. I mean, obviously, look, I'm not saying Windows Mixed Reality is dead, not even close. The thumbnail image, it's like when I'm going to do one of these shows, I got to find like a new game that was announced or something. Maybe I should have just grabbed a screenshot of Disaster Report 4. That would have actually probably been a good screenshot. I should have did that. Instead, I was like, well, let me find some Windows Mixed Reality thing and just grab the Acer headset. And I just put dead ? Because I mean, that's the story, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Following months of steep discounts, most of the Windows VR headsets have vanished from Microsoft's online store and are showing limited or no stock at other retailers. Microsoft has not given any kind of an explanation, but signs are pointing toward discontinuation of some headsets. And of course, Samsung, if you go to Samsung, you cannot get the original Odyssey, but the Odyssey Plus is for sale. Now, if you go over to Best Buy, the Dell VR headset, probably one of the ugliest VR headsets we've ever seen, the white, bug-eyed Dell VR headset. You guys know the one I'm talking about. That one is seeing a clearing discount, while the Acer VR headset, the one that is in our thumbnail, the baby blue one, is completely sold out. On Amazon, Dell, Lenovo, Acer, all listed as only having a small number in stock. Most of these are showing single digits. The Asus is currently unavailable. So anyway, there's not a lot of supply out there. And My personal opinion on this thing is that I think it's about time for Windows Mixed Reality 2. I really think it's about time for Windows Mixed Reality 2. And so we could be on the verge of an announcement where we're going to see Windows Mixed Reality 2. And maybe this first wave of Windows Mixed Reality headsets, maybe most of the manufacturers have allowed them to run their course and they're pretty much out of stock. And then once they blow through everything, then they can go ahead and announce Windows Mixed Reality 2 and have a whole batch of different headsets that are Windows Mixed Reality 2.0. So brand new tracking, like a completely updated tracking system that is going to provide additional cameras, much better tracking, possibly higher resolution across the entire lineup. Maybe 2160 by 2160 is kind of the new standard across the entire lineup of Windows Mixed Reality. Now, the problem with all of this, the thorn in our side as far as all of this is concerned, is what doesn't make sense is why would Hewlett-Packard, why would they bring out an HP Reverb if Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 was right around the corner? If Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 was right around the corner, Hewlett-Packard would know about it, and they wouldn't bring out a Reverb, which has the old crappy controllers and just the two cameras, and that's it. There's no way that would not happen. So something is weird about this. Now, I think we have to really hope that maybe it's just going to be like an extended delay. So maybe these Windows Mixed Reality headsets, maybe they're all going to run out, except for the Samsung Odyssey Plus. That will kind of remain in stock through Amazon. But maybe most of these other headsets will basically run out of stock. Remember, Acer has the Concept D OHO, which does have IPD adjustment. And that one is going to compete head-to-head with the Reverb, possibly later this year. But again, that one, I believe, is Windows Mixed Reality 2.0. So you could easily say, look, this is making way for the new version of Windows Mixed Reality. But when you think about the Acer OHO Concept D and you think about the HP Reverb, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Why would these companies bother with a product that's straddling the fence? It doesn't make a ton of sense. So maybe we're not going to find out anything about Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 version until possibly January at the Consumer Electronics Show. So it could be a long time away, or possibly some future Microsoft conference that is off in the distance. It could possibly be an announcement there, but I can't imagine it's legitimately incoming because it doesn't compute. So let's see what some people are talking about here in chat in regards to the speculation Windows Mixed Reality getting kicked to the curb. Let's see what people are talking about. Brandon says, Samsung is launching the first Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 headset this fall. That's actually a very good possibility. That is a legitimate possibility. But if you were Hewlett-Packard and you were Acer, you'd be like, what the F, man? We're bringing out a freaking Windows Mixed Reality 1.0 advanced headset that has the old crappy controllers, has the original version tracking, and you're going to allow Samsung to release the first Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 headset, like exclusively, like you're kissing Samsung's ass in a major way? Maybe, but that would really piss off. Wouldn't that piss off the rest of everybody else that's in this little consortium? Asus and all the other headset manufacturers that are part of this? I would imagine they'd be a little bit ticked off. Dell, everybody else. Let's see. So Brandon says, new Reverb for 2.0 inbound a la the Odyssey Plus. Yeah, or maybe that's why Reverb is not available right. Hey, you know what? Maybe Reverb, did people officially get Reverbs? Like, I don't know what the actual situation is with Reverbs, but I know, like, reverbs are going to be coming at some point. Did anybody actually get reverbs? Because what of the possibility is like, oh, reverb was delayed. It's now going to be Windows Mixed Reality 2.0. But I don't think so. I just, there's not enough time for that. So that doesn't make sense. I don't know. BloxyMan22 says maybe HP had already mostly finished the product already. I guess that's possible. They might not be one of Microsoft, but Microsoft and Hewlett Packard are pretty tight. They're pretty tight because Microsoft has to know that Hewlett Packard is working on this freaking reverb thing. At some point, Hewlett Packard is going to let somebody at Microsoft know about the I don't think Microsoft found out about the reverb when we found out about the reverb. They had to know that in advance. And if Microsoft knew that they had a Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 that was just right around the corner, wouldn't they tell HP? And wouldn't HP just kind of want to wait for that? That's why something doesn't add up here unless it's like a straddling of the fence. The only way I see it is it's a straddling of the fence, and Hewlett Packard and Acer, they want to come out with these headsets. They didn't want to wait too long. Now Windows Mixed Reality is going to be available 2.0, but not until 2020, and they didn't want to wait that long. Even that is a bit debatable. But we know Samsung. We do know this, that Samsung supposedly has both AR and VR products that are supposed to be coming out in the not too distant future, or at least we're going to find out about them in the not too distant future. That was a major news story that hit just a couple of weeks ago. We haven't heard anything about the Samsung thing. Almost every other shoe has dropped. Vive Cosmos, that information is coming this week. Now, if HTC Vive is halfway intelligent, and they've got to be at least halfway intelligent, the big info dump for Vive Cosmos should either be tomorrow on Tuesday or it should be on Wednesday. Not Thursday, not Friday. HTC, please, for the love of God. I mean, Tuesday is the proper day to do it. Tuesday's the proper day. You drop the bomb on Tuesday. People are talking about it on Tuesday. They're talking about it on Wednesday. They're talking about it on Thursday. Maybe even a little bit on Friday. You get that nice boost throughout the whole week. They could also do it on Wednesday. But Cosmos information is coming, and that's all the shoes that have dropped. Acer Concept Dioho, we don't know when the release date is. We did hear 2019 for the Acer Concept D, which is going to have the 2160, and it is going to have the IPD adjustment. Could that possibly be the very first Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 headset, and maybe we just don't know about it yet? The problem with that is if we look at the pictures of it, unless the pictures are like old, outdated pictures, we've got a problem here. So let's do a couple Google searches real quick on that Acer Concept D. Acer Concept D OHO VR 2160. Let's try to do this, and let's do images. Yeah, so this is the Star Wars freaking snowtrooper headset like a mofo. Like, this should have a freaking Star Wars logo right on it. I mean, this, if you're a snowtrooper, if you got a snowtrooper Halloween costume, freaking break that shit out, because this is the Star Wars headset, man. This is the unofficial Star Wars headset. But the problem is, we don't see no extra cameras, bro. There's no extra cameras. Now, it's possible that these early ones that we're seeing here, maybe there's a switcheroo. And maybe this November, this December, Acer has the first legitimate Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 headset. There's additional cameras, brand new controller design. It's possible. It's within the realm of possibility, but this one sure as hell doesn't have any extra cameras. And it doesn't even look like it has like any slots where cameras could go. So the entire shell would have to pretty much be redesigned there. So yeah, I don't know, man. And then Samsung, like, yeah, I get the narrative that Samsung is the chosen one because Samsung is, well, actually Samsung, the screens aren't Samsung screens though, but maybe Samsung has their own 2160 by 2160 screen that all of these are going to use. But I thought, doesn't the HP Reverb use the JDI screens? And doesn't this Concept D Oho also use the JDI screen, which isn't even Samsung? That's freaking Sony and Toshiba and all those other companies. JDI, you know, what is that company? JDI screens. I want to see if we can, JDI screens. Let's see, all. What are the companies that are Japan Display Incorporated? Yeah. So Japan Display Incorporated. This is the company basically. This is the company that is making the screens. That's in, I believe it's in the Reverb. I believe it's in the Acer Concept D-Oho, and it's not Samsung. So does Samsung have their own screens? Like, why is Samsung getting, I mean, I know Samsung has their own screens. We already found out about it. Remember? They have their own screen that is 120 hertz and it's 2160 by 2160. But these other headsets aren't expected to be using those screens. They're using these ones. So the whole idea that, oh, you know, Windows Mixed Reality 2.0, we're going to find out about it any day now. That idea, I don't know that idea holds water. So this is interesting. I mean, I cannot imagine, like, let's consider the alternative. Microsoft just freaking saying F VR altogether, we're out of it. That doesn't really make a ton of sense either. I mean, I know this hasn't been successful for them. I'm sure they've lost pretty good money on this entire thing. Like, this has kind of been an unmitigated disaster for them in a very small way. But I still don't see Microsoft just walking away from VR completely. Not when Sony isn't walking away from VR. They're doubling down, if anything. Oculus isn't walking away from VR. They're doubling down. You've got other companies, Google eventually screwing around with VR, other companies screwing around with VR. There's no way Microsoft can just walk away from VR and just let it go. I can't see that happening. Let's see. So Rendered Reality says, hey, Anthony, have you tried Windows Mixed Reality your damn self? Guess what? No, never have. Can you believe it? I have never, ever tried a Windows Mixed Reality headset. Ever. Never. That is kind of crazy talk. But it is the truth. For the longest time, actually, my computer was incompatible with these headsets because I had an i5 2500K Intel CPU, and these headsets, at least previously, I don't know if it's still this way, but all the Windows Mixed Reality headsets required some type of instruction thing that your CPU had to be able to do. And the i5 2500K was freaking ancient from like the year 2011 or something like that. And so I couldn't use a Windows Mixed Reality headset with the computer that I had. Had that not been the case, I probably would have bought one because there were all these deals where you could get like the crappy Acer for like $180, brand new. And for that price, why not? Just try it for the hell of it. Use it as a backup or any kind of a thing. But yeah, never really did it. Brandon says Google and JDI are partners. SAMIK81 says, I wonder if PlayStation will do PSVR2 with PS5. They could just use PSVR1 for larger player base. I hope for PSVR2. Check this out, folks. Breaking news. Oh my God. We've got the first video. We have the first video for PlayStation VR2. Breaking news. I've got the video. Let's check this out. This is incredible. Here it is. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. PlayStation VR2 comes out next Wednesday for $499. I mean, that is a pretty good freaking trailer, right? This is a fan-made, like, PlayStation VR2 trailer. This is who HTC could have hired. Dude, they could have paid these dudes $1,000 to make something like this for the Vive Cosmos. But no, we get a freaking spinning table. A spinning table. And look what this fan-made video did. I mean, look at this shit. Incredible. It's incredible. Oh my god, 2 curved OLED screens running Astrobot simultaneously. Look at that giant field of view. It's like huge. There's no need for the lenses, bro. Oh, this is funny. 120 hertz. It's already got that. It's already got that. It should say like full body tracking, outside sensors that you can't even see. Advanced ventilation system. An advanced ventilation system. Yeah. It's got the AR goggles, inside out tracking. That's funny. It's basically the same freaking headset, just elongated and tilted to the side. I'm pretty sure it would look quite a bit different than this. $220 FOV. Yeah, 220. Look at that. It looks like a freaking fish tank is up in there. Oh man. But this is pretty cool. I was watching 360-degree head tracking. Like, what does that even mean? Like, doesn't everything have 360-degree head tracking? It should say special cameras to sense your body's movements. It's got freaking built-in transforming fans, wireless 4K streaming, full body tracking, yeah. The PlayStation VR Pro. Pro? What? We already got a Pro. But look at that. Welcome to the future of gaming. Like, I like the way that one. I want to make... Dude, can I get a hold of these people? Can they make a freaking VR 365 trailer for me? Because these fools got some skills. That was funny. That was funny. I like that. Yeah, so someone in chat just happened to mention PSVR2. I had grabbed this video earlier and I was like, perfect timing. PSVR2, oh my God, it's been announced. There may have been at least 2 or 3 people that were watching this show that for about 20 seconds didn't know if there was a freaking unknown announcement that was coming out of the blue and freaking PSVR2 just got dropped on their ass. There was a couple of people that didn't know for sure, man. That was funny. Okay, let's see what some people are talking about here. Fan-made trailer should be hired immediately by HTC before HTC releases specs sometime this week. Chris says, ventilation system sounds great, though. PSVR in chill, that is gaming science teacher. It jacks in your brain. Lefty007. Frederick Rourke, full body tracking, which is what we need. Oh my God, we need full body tracking. Fish tank. Yeah, it looked like a freaking fish tank was up inside there. Jerry Watson says, no removable faceplate, but that kind of sucks, man. You can't get the freaking neon colored faceplates, the clear faceplates with little special LEDs in them. Don't we want to be able to change our faceplates? And it comes with Striking Vipers X. Yeah, and it looks like a PlayStation Vita cartridge that you plug in your DualShock 5. Absolutely. VR Spry Guy says the only thing it needs is a frunk. And too late, Anthony. He's been snapped by HTC. No, seriously, though. What would it cost me to get this guy to make a badass VR 365 kind of intro, outro and shit? But it's weird. I mean, look at that. It's like elongated. Like, who has a freaking head that's that long that is going to do? It's like hella long halo for the thing. That is funny, but that is a really good fake. That is a funny fake. Cyan VR says it fooled me for a second. I knew it. I knew there had to be a couple of people. Caleb was like, oh shit, ha, that's funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, it's gonna get a couple of people. It has to. Okay, so anyway, yeah, that is PlayStation VR2. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to find out about PlayStation VR2 for quite some time. We might find out about the idea of it next year when they're doing all the PlayStation 5 stuff. They might just give us like an early peek into what they're thinking about for PlayStation VR2, but I don't even think we get any kind of a finalized anything. That is a future product, and it's going to be a ways away. It really is, but it's what they have to do because PlayStation 5 is so much more important to Sony's bottom line than PlayStation VR2 could ever hope to be. So it's all about PlayStation 5. So they don't want to take any risks of screwing anything up with PlayStation 5. And what that means is PSVR 2 is going to be nowhere near the launch of PlayStation 5 because there's just not enough money for the average everyday person to buy both of those things. They're going to buy PlayStation 5 and then later they're going to get PlayStation VR 2. So we're looking at probably November of 2021, and we might not find out about it until January 2021, that same year. We might not even find out about it or maybe we might find out about it like late 2020, like after PS5 has already launched, and then like in November or something of next year, like November, December next year, we get a peek into what PlayStation VR 2 is, but we kind of know that it's like a year away is probably what will happen. So it's going to be a while before we see this baby. So anyways, let's see. What else did we want to get into today? Not much else is going on. There is a daily deal, though, of a known game, a known commodity for the daily deal. So let's go ahead and bounce over there. So yeah, this is over on Oculus, and you can see the daily deal is Sprint Vector. It is 50% off. I was like, what? 50% off, and it's still $15? Did you guys know that this game was being sold for $30? $30 seems a little bit overinflated. $30 seems a little bit overinflated, but now that it is 50% off, you're getting it for $15. Not too bad. I wonder if Sprint Vector could possibly come to the Oculus Quest at some point. It seems like it would almost, like the graphical style of Sprint Vector, seems like it would translate to the Oculus Quest. We don't know if there will ever be cross-buy, so I don't know if this is a strategic advanced cross-buy purchase. It could be. But yeah, there is 7 hours and 20 minutes still left in this deal. Not too bad. It's okay. On a Steam sale, you might see a similar kind of a deal. Now, also, we need to pay attention to this because in 3 days, Raw Data is going to have a free weekend, so you can try Raw Data out and get a feel for it. I've always said that it never felt that great for me for whatever reason. With my Oculus Rift, it just never felt right. It always felt so good in an HTC Vive, but that might just be some type of placebo kind of a thing. So don't worry about that. Okay, one other thing I did want to cover real quick too is going over to the Oculus Rift subreddit and check this out, man. Okay, so see this picture right here? That's a Rift S. That is a tangled cord for a Rift S. Dude, like you've barely even had a Rift S. How could you already have your cord have all kinds of kinks and shit in it? See, that's the problem that I have with my CV1. That is exactly what my CV1 looks like. And my CV1 cord has pretty much been ruined. I need to buy a new CV1 cord. I really do, because it's got these... See, the problem was, for the longest time, I just kind of left it wherever it was. I didn't unravel it every time I would play, and it caught up with me. It caught up with me over time. I've got very strong kinks that are in different spots on my CV1 cord, and it ends up getting tangled, and it never completely unravels. I can never get it, and even when I have it completely unraveled, it only stays unraveled for like an hour, and then it gets right back to where it was. And that's one of the reasons, like this reason right here, this picture that you guys are looking at, it's one of the reasons I love the Oculus Quest so much, and I love standalone and wireless. We've got to get rid of these blasted wires at some point in time. But yeah, there is a way to prevent it, dumbass. Don't ever do it in the first place. The way to prevent it is every time you're done playing VR, you unconnect the cable and completely unravel it and like put it on like a nice shelf, perfectly coiled up in a nice way where it doesn't get any kinks in it. And then basically every time you go to play it, you got to grab it, plug it in, and do the little rigmarole. It's an extra step, but in the long run, it's going to save you from having your cable all jacked up like that. So yeah, I did see that was out there like that, and that is a very unfortunate thing. All right, did you guys know Pierhead Arcade 2 is coming out on Valve Index Day this Friday? This Friday is a national holiday. It is Valve Index Day, and there are quite a few VR games that are kind of timing their arrival for Valve Index Day because they believe that there will be this wave of excitement, this celebration that will go on, and some people believe it's kind of like a secondary launch for VR. You know, VR launched 3 years ago, right? It was what, April 6th or April 5th or whatever it was when the original HTC launched back in 2016. Valve was a very big part of that launch right when it happened. Like, they were cool with HTC in the very, very beginning because they had a great relationship at that point in time, and HTC's customer service didn't destroy that relationship for them at all. And Valve was a very, very big part of that original launch, supplying stuff like the lab and everything that came along with it, all the games that launched right around then. And it does appear that there are a lot of games that are kind of trying to time a release right around this time and kind of ride this index hype and ride the wave. And Pierhead 2 Arcade by Mechabit appears to be a game that is poised to do that. We do have a trailer for it, but it only lasts like 10 seconds or something. But let's go ahead and just check it out real quick since I downloaded it any damn way. But yeah, it's like 10 seconds. Yay! Yeah, that's basically it. Early access, June 28th. Yay! Yep. And you can see the little Valve Index logo over there, the Oculus logo, the Vive logo. So yeah, you know who was a really big fan of Pierhead Arcade, who really loved Pierhead Arcade? MameFan. I believe it was MameFan. I think MameFan really liked Pierhead Arcade. I thought it was okay. I wasn't as in love with it as MameFan was. What was the other game, like Carnival Games or whatever? You know, that other one that was like by Ubisoft or whatever, or 2K Games or something like that. I think it was developed by Cat Daddy Games. It was, was it Carnival Games VR? I actually think I kind of like that a little bit better than Pierhead 2 Arcade. But I believe MameFan was a big time Pierhead 2 Arcade guy. Okay, let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to cover? Oh, you know what? The Valve Index Setup Guide is out. Did you guys hear about that? Let me go ahead and find the Valve Index Setup Guide. Where is that? I saw it somewhere. Here it is. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and bounce over here. Yeah, so this is the Valve Index Setup Guide. It is over there on Steam. You know, they've been doing this stuff where they're kind of trying to like slowly but surely help people get ready for the Valve Index. And this is one of the most detailed setup guides I've seen in quite some time. So if you really want to get ready, like if you're really super hyped about getting your Valve Index and you're not sure where you're going to set up your base stations or how big your play area is, all these different kinds of things, this guide will walk you through the entire thing. And they have little videos that you can watch pretty much for every step of the way. How to launch Steam VR, running room setup, enjoying VR, the base station wall mounting, preparing the wall mounts. You know, here's the good thing. If I get my Valve Index, and I might have some help here, I might have somebody that's going to help me out with my Valve Index. There is someone that might sacrifice potential mega riches from putting it on eBay and selling it to somebody in Switzerland for about $4,000. So I might get a Valve Index a lot sooner than I ever thought I was going to get. But one of the good things about the Valve Index, for me anyways, is I believe I have the things installed right now for where I had base stations 1.0. They're still there. They're threaded. They're drilled into the walls. It's a perfect location, I think, probably, and I can angle it wherever it needs to be a perfect location. So I'm good to go, man. If I get these new base station 2.0s, all I got to do is get up on a ladder and lock them in and put them in place, and they're ready to go. So I don't even have to break out my power drill, and I don't have to prepare the wall and place anchors and do all this crap. But if you do have to do all this crap, they do have a pretty detailed breakdown here with little videos showing you. Now, see, I'll probably want to watch this video for aiming it, like getting the right angle, positioning for it, and angling it compared to where the center of your play space would be. That's a video I would probably want to watch. I'm not sure about all these other videos. But yeah, the Valve Index Setup Guide, it is there. It is out there, and people are checking that out to be sure. Okay, let's see what some folks are talking about in chat. We probably have a number of people in chat that are possibly getting a Valve Index this week. Let's see. So Laser Rob, so Carnival Games. Okay, it was Carnival Games. Okay, so Carnival Games no longer works at all. It's dead. Recycled says, I'm in Texas and my status is still shipping soon. Brandon says, shout out to all the silent Sacramento first wave index buyers. You know, I noticed that. I was on the Valve Index subreddit, and there was several people that were from Sacramento that are like, I'm in Sacramento, I'm getting my Valve Index. And I thought about messaging them and saying, hey man, can I come over and check it out for like 20 minutes just to see what it looks like real quick, bro? I'll interview you and I'll put you, I'll put you on VR 365. And actually, maybe I'll still do that. I might still do that. I haven't decided to bother them yet, but I've thought about it. Let's see. Recycled is responding to Brandon. He's saying, shipping to San Antonio. No idea where it's coming from. Steve Drumheller. Yeah, so Steve Drumheller of Conquer Reality, he's in a situation where he might, now I don't even want to say too much, but basically he has the potential to make a lot of money on eBay flipping a Valve Index. Because, I mean, imagine how much money do you think people are going to make flipping Valve Indexes to somebody that's like in Australia or somebody that's in Iceland or some country where they're just not going to get a Valve Index, South Africa or whatever, Canada for all that matters. I mean, Canada is not getting Valve Indexes right away. And there's people out there that have more money than sense and they simply don't want to wait. And they will buy a Valve Index on eBay for crazy money. Gerillo says lighthouses, too high-tech for people who have never hung a painting in their life. It's not so much that. What it is when people realize that they have to actually use a freaking drill, that takes it to another level. And some people are like, once you start using drills and you just drill a couple of things in and you find out where a stud is and you drill something in and you hang it up, it's not a big deal at all. But for people that don't do that on a very regular basis, like that is one of these subconscious things. There's going to be people that are going to, I swear to you, there are people that are going to be avoiding buying a Valve Index because they have a weird fear about mounting the base stations and not being able to mount them properly and not getting good tracking, and they don't want to mess around with drills and stuff. I guarantee you, there's people out there like that would much rather go with inside-out tracking and not even have my eyes tweaking out on me. Hope I'm not going to get a migraine in a minute here. But there's people that do not want to break out a power drill. They just don't want to deal with that. And that'll actually lead them in a completely different path. Brandon says the early ones will go for $3,000 and above. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's what I was honestly thinking, about $3,000. And that's why I think Steve Drumheller, man, you're crazy, bro. Like, well, see, I do believe in the idea that if you're scalping something and you're trying to make a major profit off somebody because somehow, like I'm not into scalping. I think it's a bad thing, and I think it's going to come back on the person. But at the same time, man, these people are going to get real money. And maybe they'll pay for it later in some kind of metaphysical bad karma that'll come back and bite their ass. But at a certain point, it's not a big deal. But anyways, let's see here. What did we want to go to now? So, that's pretty much what I had. I don't think I really have anything else. Let me just double check. Let's go back over here to our standard scene. Sometimes I just need to learn to stop the show when we run out of stuff to talk about, rather than trying to make some imaginary 1 hour length or some kind of crazy thing like that. Yeah, so we're pretty much done. But I will thank the sponsor again. Now, I know I thanked Studio Form VR one other time. I'm going to go ahead and thank them again because I haven't made another one of these, and I got to make some more of these. I got to start thanking our Patreon supporters. I got to start thanking our PayPal donators. Chad White, by the way, did recently donate on PayPal, but I have not had an opportunity to make a little thing for that popped up on the screen. But thank you so much, Chad White. Absolutely appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate your support. Studio Form VR, absolutely appreciate that. All the other Patreon supporters, absolutely appreciate any and all support that has come my way. But yeah, that's pretty much going to go ahead and do it for this particular episode. It is a slow news day. There isn't a lot going on. So that pretty much is going to wrap it up. Let's see here. So I need to get my little outro logo on the screen. And so tomorrow, of course, is Tuesday. And that means Twitch. Yeah, so we're going to be bouncing over to Twitch tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time is when you can find me on Twitch on Tuesday. Have no idea what we're talking about. It might be all Vive Cosmos all the time. It might be nothing but Vive Cosmos specs, all the little juicy tidbits of information that come with the Vive Cosmos. That could happen tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that won't happen. Maybe it'll be a shiz show. I don't know. But hop on over to Twitch and find out. It's just basically twitch.tv/VR365. Pretty easy to find over there. Just yesterday, I did an interview with Simplex from Poland, and I thought it was a very interesting interview, and we went basically 2 hours. So if you haven't checked out that episode, bounce over to Twitch. What you do is when you get into the VR365 area, there's these buttons that are up on the top, and one of them says videos. And if you highlight that button, I think it's going to show 3 videos. You click on that, and that's where you find all of the videos there. There's 2 full episodes. There's 1 little highlight, and that's the way you do it. So I'm still getting used to the whole Twitch thing, but I will be over there tomorrow. So go ahead and find me over there tomorrow. But that's basically going to do it for our show today. So everybody have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.